Hi everyone, I'm home. Merry Christmas! I'd like to preface this video by stating that all images and scraps used are from my own personal collection of books and magazines, and all other effects were handmade by me. This project is a hobby piece and is not for sale. It's for my own personal use. Snippets of music were necessary but are very short because I do not own the rights to the music. So if you guys want to skip ahead and not see how I made all the items for this project, you can skip ahead. But if you think you'd like to watch the whole video, grab you a Coke and maybe a peanut butter and banana sandwich and sit back and enjoy the video. That's all I can let you guys listen to. I'm getting so copyrighted for this. So this is the beginning of the video about the Elvis Project. Some of you, I asked if you knew what the Elvis Project was going to be, and no one really guessed it. But what it's going to be is it's a collection of Elvis items done in miniature. But first, this is what I live for, you guys. This is what I'm talking about. Kevin and I were driving through a little town nearby at night, and he said, "Whoa, go around the corner." And we went around, and it was this old store. I don't know if they're still open or not, but they were decorated with all the old vintage decorations from like the 50s. The tinsel was real hard and stiff, and they had all kinds of ads in the window for what their store used to sell. And this was actual ads from this store. And they had toys and different things in the window, and they had little pie pans and told a cheap price. And they had all kinds of pretty things, Crocs and oil cans. And look at the Christmas tree. And these big decorations might have hung in their town years ago. I don't know, but they had a color wheel. And as we were driving by, we saw the color of the tree change 2 or 3 times. So we drove around, and I got out and went up and took a video and looked at the changing colors on the aluminum tree, and they had it decorated up just like you were back in the 50s or 60s. I'm going to go check it out in the daytime and see if this store is actually open or if they just decorated their window for that purpose. But it was really neat, and I wanted to share it with you guys because we don't see these kinds of decorations every day, and it really made me happy to see them. My husband was happy too. He said this was like how it was when he was a little kid. And they had that tree, it was lit up red, green, blue, gold. It was so pretty. And it was really cold out, and it was snowing just a tiny bit, and it was just like I was a little kid again. It was really fascinating. So that's this part, and I hate to interrupt all the rest of the stuff about our Elvis project, but we're going to get back to that here in a minute. But I just wanted you guys to see the beautiful colors of that tree. So I have a couple of friends who are diehard fans of this man. I love him too, always have. And I started about a year ago thinking, wouldn't it be cool to take a little room box and make a collection of his items? Because a lot of my friends collect his items. One friend in particular has a lot. And I thought it would be fun to just make a room box. So I started making the things, and I've been making them all year, and I got the video all done, and then I ran into some copyright violations, so I scrapped it for a while. And the other day I got it out, and I thought, I got to show this to everybody before Christmas. So I got to thinking about how much he loved Christmas and how maybe I should add a little Christmas to the project. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of days. And oh, guys, I made so many things over the last year. I've made albums. I went through all my scraps and my books and my magazines and Columbia House ads looking for his albums, and I didn't realize he had so many, and I didn't get them all. I keep finding more, but that's what's fun about a project like this. You can just keep working on it through the years. I may give this to my friend. I'm trying to decide if she wants this in her house. She may want it to use as a nightlight or something. But I had thrifted a lot of books about him, and I've got duplicates of some, so I didn't mind cutting into some of my books because they're mine. And I know some people don't like that, but I've collected them. There's 2 or 3 of each one. Now this one in particular, I considered this manifesting because once I started this project, his stuff started popping up at the thrift stores every time I turned around. This is a real heavy box that included that big blue book, and it's got the coolest idea about it. They've taken things from his life and duplicated them, reproduced them, and put them in this book. It's the neatest thing ever. When you open the book, he speaks, and it's a DVD of him talking. And then all through the book are these little, like this is a book he apparently checked out when he was a little kid at school. And they have all this stuff at Graceland. And I guess they just went through and copied them and put them in there so you could see them and actually touch them and feel what Elvis did. This was a little book that he had. These were some cards, his high school cards and high school pictures. And these are actual things you can take out of the little sleeves and look at. It's like a little kid's pop-up book, kind of. There was a red envelope, and I opened it up, and it was his Christmas card from like 1957 or so. And this was a letter that he wrote up to one of his girlfriends when he was in the service. And you can open that envelope and get the letter out. They had letters from his record companies telling him about his records and little notes that producers had written and stuff. It was just like going through his personal effects. This was one of my favorites. It was a copy of a wallet, and inside it had his Social Security card and his Screen Actors Guild card and driver's license. And then this one was kind of sad. It showed the burial place behind Graceland, and it had telegrams from all kinds of celebrities like Johnny Cash and Isaac Hayes. And back then, that's how they got word to people fast. And it's just the neatest book. And I could go through it all day and show you every bit of it, but you can find it on Amazon. And I was looking at one of the pictures, and of course he had this real long, I guess it was pretty long. I wish I'd have looked it up to see exactly how long. White sofa in Graceland. And his Christmas tree was always either in red ornaments or blue. And I got to thinking about my project, and I had it in my head that I wanted a big white sofa in front of all of his albums hanging on the wall. And then I had thrifted this little tin last year, and it had a little book in it and all kinds of stuff. And then I found another one. So I started making stuff, and I cut out pictures. These were plates and books, and I made little stand-ups, like cardboard stand-ups. I made fans. I made all kinds of stuff that my friend might collect. And this is a box of things that I threw in the box over the year and ended up putting all together for the project. Now, when you do a miniature project, in order for it to look kind of real, you have to have a lot of stuff. And here's my scraps laying on the floor. Miniature messes are not miniature. I took some pictures of some of my messes to show you how much of a mess I make. And it's irritating because you drop things on the floor. You have to use tweezers. It can be it causes me anxiety, but I love it. I wanted to put my project in a crate, so I got one. I thrifted mine for $3, but you can get them at Joann's and Walmart and different places like that. And I lined the inside with foam board and trimmed it out with some trim. And I ended up using scrapbook paper for the bottom of the wall just to give it a little bit of texture. And then around the border there in the middle, I wanted something blingy. And I found this, I showed it to you last year, a roll of ribbon that had like little metallic things in it. And it looked like Elvis's belt, like what he would wear on stage. So I bought that roll and I cut it down and I glued it all the way around to give it kind of like the Vegas effect. And then when I put my lights on it, it really went crazy. Then I got a new crock pot, and I took the styrofoam out of the box, and I thought, oh, that kind of looks like a little sofa, like a curved sofa. And then I thought, see, this is how a miniature artist thinks. I wanted some fake fur on the floor for a rug. So I got a little scrap of fur at a thrift store. And I was looking at the styrofoam, and I thought, that looks like a funky couch from the 70s. And I liked the look of it because it was triangle shaped and it wouldn't take up as much room as a long couch. But it had this little hole in the back of it, which I could just cover up with a piece of paper. But I had this little I think it was a little plastic finial that had broken off of something in my miniature stuff. And I thought, well, I could poke that down in there and it would look like a funky little couch from the 70s. And I put it in there and it looked perfect. It fit perfect. And with the lights, it was so pretty. But what I ended up doing was covering that hole so I would have space to set all my stuff that I made for this miniature collection. I have so much stuff. I didn't even use it all. Then I found this little glass votive holder, candle holder thing at a thrift store, and I covered it with a mirror that popped out of one of my compacts of makeup and glued that to the top and made the coffee table, and it was perfect to sit inside that round part of the couch. See, I can put stuff on the sides there on the back of the couch now because and they'll show up if I used a long couch like I plan to use. And this one's funkier and just kind of cool. If my friend is sitting in her room with all of her collections, she can just lounge on that couch. And I started putting the things on the wall. I had pictures of Elvis standing in front of Graceland with his Rolls Royce, the $1 Million Quartet picture of Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis with Elvis. And I cut out some just pictures and just put them on cardstock and hung them on the wall. And I started putting the albums on the wall, and I did them in rows of 9, and I got 4 rows. And there's a lot more albums, so there's some space at the top for some more. I did movie posters. I just went through my books and did everything. I made magazines. Elvis was on so many magazines, I'll never get those all made, but I made the most popular ones. And this one was from years ago, but they reproduce this every so often. And if you go to the grocery store right now, you can find that copy. They're still putting it out. I made books. This is a book that someone actually gave me from when they went to Graceland. It's a tour book. And I made birthday cards from his fan club for my friend because she likes to receive cards from Elvis and postcards. These are scrapbooks that I made to fill with all of her glossy 8x10s and her little snippets out of newspapers and things that she's collected through the years from Elvis. This little scrapbook looks like it's seen better days. It's kind of dirty. It must be one of her favorite ones. And you can look inside them, and there's pictures of Elvis out of magazines, and there's a sad article about his mother passing away. And you can actually open these scrapbooks and look through them. There's a lot of 8x10 glossies because my friend, she buys them all the time off of eBay. You know how that goes. And some of them she won't even take out of the plastic. She's real stingy about that. She puts them in the plastic and just puts them in a box, and she's got hundreds of them. And, of course, the sad news that Elvis has passed away. She had a couple different newspapers that told about it, the Chicago Tribune and the Memphis paper. And she'll just prop her pictures up against the coffee table so she can look at them because she's just so into him. And, of course, this is all imaginary, but my friend is into this, I'm telling you. And there's a big screen TV made out of a glass picture frame that has no frame around the edge. And she likes to sit there on her couch and watch Elvis on TV. And this is my favorite picture of him, and hers too. This is actually in one of my dollhouses. So my son bought a new turntable recently, and I really liked it. And I thought, I need one of those in my project. So I started thinking what I could use to make one. So I'm at the Dollar Tree the other day looking for something, and I found this eyeshadow case that was just about the right size. It's about 1.5 inches across and about 1 3/4 inches deep. Then I had this little metal thing that you're supposed to attach to your cell phone. It's magnetic, but it doesn't work. It falls off all the time. My husband likes IU. So it's thick and metal and kind of looks like a turntable base. So I put it underneath a record that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. It's a charm. I've got to make some labels for it, but I forgot to do that. But like I said, I can always make them later. Then I went through my junk drawer and I found this little fuse that goes in Christmas lights. You know that little packet they give you? I've never put a fuse in a new Christmas light ever, replaced it. But I used it for the back, for the piece that stands up that holds the needle. This is how I think, guys. So then I went through and I found a can of shoe polish, and it had this little thing on the side that opens the can. I was just looking for little metal things that look like mechanical pieces to go inside the stereo. So I put that on there, and when the needle comes off, which is a piece of a barrette or hairpin, it'll slide over and sit on that piece. Then I set the little stereo in my scene and turned the lights on to kind of see what it would look like and see if it looked kind of realistic. Then I ended up sitting it on the floor in front of all of her albums. And she likes to sit on the floor and just spin albums of him all the time. And then I'm looking through one of my books looking for pictures. And this is the book by Elvis's family where they talk about him. And they showed this picture. It's his stereo, the way it looked the day he died, and the album that was on it. And this was one of her favorite albums and mine too. So it's sitting by the stereo on the floor because she likes to play it all the time. And I thought it looked pretty realistic, and I put a cord on it so that it would play. Of course, you got to plug it in. And this is one of her favorite Elvis albums. So I took one of those other records and I used an ink pen cap, like a felt pen marker cap, and made a tall skinny table to highlight that album. And then I thought I'd print it in black and white just to see what that would look like. And I thought the black and white looked really cool. Then all of her albums she just tucks under this little brass table so she can get to them easy, and there's a lot of them. She's got duplicates of some, and of course she hung most of them on the wall. So, these little pill bottles, I think they're just little plastic screw cap things. Well, I got in the junk drawer and I found a red one, and it was the prettiest color. And then I have these little white trees that I got at the Dollar Tree a long time ago. So I used the tallest one, but I wanted to elevate it a little bit so I could put presents under it and you could see it better. So I used one of the red ones. Now I'm going to tell you this story because it happened, and it just happened. My husband's up in the cabinet while I'm working on this, and he gets out his medicine for the night, and he said, "What are these pills?" And he hands me a bottle, and I read it, and I said, "Oh my gosh, don't take those. Those are from your surgery 2 years ago. Throw those things away." So he goes to throw them away, and I said, "Wait a minute, let me look at those." Those pills were exactly the same color as that pill box. I thought that was so odd, and I said, "Oh wait, give me those pills." There were like 7 in the bottle. So I laid them out in the pack on the table, and I started decorating the tree. And I did not intend for this to happen, guys. I really did not. But when I got finished with my tree and decorating them with these pills, I realized that I had narcotics on a tree that was inspired by Elvis. I know that's probably totally inappropriate, but they're beautiful on the tree, and I left them. So it looks so pretty reflected in the mirror. And of course, this is before I pile on all the magazines and the books that my friend collects. She's just silly. She's got so much. She's just got too much. I don't know why people collect and have so much. But he used to have a lot of blue ornaments on his tree, red ones. So I just started putting them all on there. I put EP on top of the tree. I tried to be like Jeffrey Kevin and really bling it out and overdo it at the top. I put little mirrored pieces that were actually they were like a ribbon that were mirrored, and I used those on the tree, and it ended up you can't see the white tree now. All you see is narcotics and red ornaments and tinsel, and it got kind of crazy, but it's blinged out and it's beautiful. And then I get it all done and realize I forgot to put the lights on it, so the lights have to come from the rest of the room. So then I'm looking around, and this is how a miniature artist works. You look around and see things and think, oh, I could use that in my project. I had this straw, and I had this little plastic cap off of an ornament that broke off. So I glued that into the little top of the ornament. And then I had a little Christmas ball and a little piece of that blingy tape, and I made this little stand. I thought if Elvis was still around, he's going to be all blinged out at Christmas and have all kinds of cool things. So I thought I'd set this next to the Christmas tree and maybe hang a stocking on it later with his initials on it. I don't know. I just get these crazy ideas and it just keeps exploding. And so I put that next to the Christmas tree, and then I just kept making things. So let's dive into my friend and what she does in her little room that has all of her collections. She's got her license plates. She hangs those on the wall because she keeps all of them. I think she had this one actually on her car one time. It's a little bit bent there at the top, but she won't throw anything away if it's got his name on it. And she's got these ads for his concerts and the fans and the movie posters and the plates, the collector's plates. Her little pictures, her cardboard stand-ups, her birthday cards that she gets from his fan club that she thinks she can't live without. Then I got the light out that was on my little aluminum tree that I got at the Dollar Tree that shows, it just throws light all over the room. It really gave it that Vegas effect when you turn it on. And it shines all over the room, and it's just beautiful. And the books, I put those on that little mirrored table next to the Christmas tree, so it all reflects into that. This is the little brass table that I ended up not painting, because if it was from Elvis's place in the 70s, it would have a little tarnish to it. Her favorite pieces that she has is his wedding picture that she's kind of jealous of, but she likes it. And then she has Elvis books and t-shirts and more books, and this is her coffee table. She keeps her favorite books out here, and she just got those newspapers out because we were coming to visit. She doesn't usually have those out because they're sad. And then she's got her other movie pictures and her concert pictures and her posters and her stuff. And guys, there's little boxes tucked back behind the couch full of more stuff that she has. I'm telling you, I think she's a bigger collector than I am. And she's got scrapbooks piled up. It just goes on, guys. It just won't stop. And I told her, I said, you really need to slow down on this Elvis collection. But she thinks I'm crazy. And then she gets on me about my collection. Okay, then I did the whole room in black and white so you could see what that looked like. And I hope you're getting a good image of what everything looks like, because I can just sit and look at it forever. And I set it on the kitchen table last night and shined different lights on it, and it's just so beautiful. And what I'll do at the end is put glass over the front of it, and it lights up from the back, so it can be used like a nightlight. And yeah, just bling and guitars. She says it's autographed. I think she got ripped off on eBay on that one, because I don't think it was autographed at all. But you know how people are, and she loves Elvis, so I was happy to put all this stuff together for her and kind of show her what all of her collection would look like if she set it out in one room. Now, when you turn the lights on, like I said, they just dance all over the room, and it's really pretty. And if you're in the room and you're laying on the couch, there's something special coming up that you can see on the ceiling. Isn't this pretty? I thought that was so pretty. And then there's the tree all blinged out. And even though it doesn't have lights on it, it shines up really well because it's so sparkly. And then I wrapped up all the presents because he would be going all out on Christmas. And there's the big screen TV that she can see from the couch. And let's just enjoy aluminum trees for a minute. My aluminum tree is so beautiful. And then you've got this aluminum tree that's actually a candy mold. And then the aluminum trees in the little store that we saw. I thought they were so beautiful. And then, of course, trees covered in prescription drugs, which is my Elvis tree. And I just want you guys to know that I love you so much, and I had so much fun working on this project, and I thought of you guys the whole time I was doing it, because before I didn't have you guys to look at this stuff. Now, this is what you see looking up at the ceiling. It's an 8x10 piece of glass that has these pictures on it that look down on the room. So if she's laying on the couch looking up, she's looking at this. This is the reflection of it through the coffee table, so you can see what the ceiling looks like. Your Elvis is looking down on her, and it's so pretty. And there's lights all the way around it, so it lights up. But this is what hangs down the middle. I don't know how she got that to hang upside down like that. It's really pretty. So I hope you guys are enjoying this tour. I was so excited to show it to you. I'm sorry it took so long. Lots of things happened, and I thought, well, Christmas would be a real good time to show them the vinyl Elvis collection all done in one room. That's 18 by 9 inches deep, I think. It's not very big to have this much stuff in it, but it was one of the funnest projects I've ever done, and I had so much fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a labor of love, but it was fun too, because I learned a lot about him that I didn't know. So join me on Instagram at MarcyJo631, and if you have a chance, maybe grab an old album of Elvis and listen to it. His gospel music's beautiful, and his Christian music's beautiful. And my friend likes to sit on the floor and listen to this and look at all of her collection, and she has a good time, and that's what it's all about, guys. Passion. She has a passion for him. I have a passion for miniatures. I love them so much. I've done them for a long time, and somebody asked me in the question thing on Instagram, how long have you been doing miniatures? And I think I've been doing them about 35 years. And it's silly sometimes, but it's just absolutely so much fun. So I want to thank you guys, and this was my Christmas gift to you. And if you could give me a gift back, it would be this. I would like for you guys to leave me comments. If every one of you would leave me a comment, that would be the greatest Christmas gift. Now, I have collected some of the most beautiful ornaments in the world, and I have many, as you know, but these are my favorites. My precious sons, Matt and Mark, and they're going to be here tomorrow, and I cannot wait. So, Merry Christmas. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I want to thank you. Thank you very much. I just had to do that. You know that, don't you?